Hey guys, Frank here. Welcome in our studio in Emmeloord. Today, a tip about how I use actually a product that I helped design. Well, actually refine, because the design was done by Rogue. I just helped out with some smaller things. The Rogue FlashBender, the XL3 Frank Doorhof edition. Now, we all love working on location and in the studio, and one of the things that I absolutely hate are products that you can only use in one way. And let's be honest, you spend your money, you want to have a product or a light modifier or a strobe that you can use in many different ways. And sometimes it helps if you have only one way to use it, but on location I want to be flexible. I don't want to bring 10 accessories, I only want to bring preferably 2, maybe 1. And that's the whole idea behind the FlashBender. Now the FlashBender, the Frank Doorhof edition, is different in a few ways, but the most noticeable is actually the material. So the normal FlashBender has a white surface. Our FlashBender has a soft silver surface. And it gives a little bit more edge to the image, but it also gives a little bit more light output. And because I'm using the FlashBender mostly with a grid attachment as a strip light, that extra light output is a little bit, let me put it this way, you really need it, because the strip light of course eats away the light, and having that little bit of extra just gives that nice edge on the light, but also gives you just that little bit more power. This setup is very simple. We're not going to use any accent lighting. I only want to show you what the FlashBender does. So these are not spectacular shots. These are more the shots where, well, if you're really in a pinch, you can do this, and of course you can make it way more spectacular. This is the setup with only the strip light and the grid attachment. So we have a very focused beam of light on our model. It's still plenty of light enough from a close area to still light something just underneath her waist area. But as you can see here, we're lighting the backdrop, we're getting nice light on our model. It just looks very, very nice. And that's for a FlashBender that you can literally collapse and put in your bag, and it doesn't take up any space. But if this was the only option, you would go like, well, okay, it's interesting, but not enough. So let's remodel the whole FlashBender and let's create something that's a little bit more interesting. But first I want to show you what happens when we actually don't shoot straight on, but a little bit more from an angle. So I'm now shooting a little bit more towards the FlashBender, and now it really comes alive. As you can see here, you get that really nice accent lighting, a little bit of lens flare. Move your position just a little bit, and there we go. So the FlashBender with the strip attachment really narrows that beam of light and gives you that attention grabber. Use, for example, a dome to open up the shadows, and you get a really striking image. But let's remodel our FlashBender towards something that's a little bit more softer. Okay, so you saw the FlashBender in the strip light setup, and the strip light of course has a grid and is without a doubt my favorite way of using the FlashBender. Really that nice attention grabbing light, really narrow, I just love that. But if you want it a little bit more softer, there's also a softbox attachment in the box. And that looks a little bit like this. Well, actually not a little bit, it looks like this. Now we have a lot more light hitting our model, it's softer. It's of course still not a huge softbox, but especially when you walk around your model, you get some really nice quality of light. Very, very usable for event photography or model photography on location. If you need something really fast, this is the way to go. So that's the softbox. But of course, we can do more. What if you want hardness in your light? You want to steer it? You want to create something cool on the backdrop? And you don't want any attachments. Let's use it without. Okay, the third option for the FlashBender is actually using absolutely nothing, just using it bare. And this is where the power of the FlashBender comes in. And you have to realize that the first time I ever got a FlashBender, it was actually like this. There were no attachments, softbox, but this is how I started using the FlashBender, and this is how I fell in love with it. Now, one of the things that I hate about bounce cards is that a bounce card will of course create a little bit more diffuse light. But it doesn't create softer light, because for softer light you need a big light source. So you need to bounce from a ceiling or you need a big softbox. So don't let anybody tell you that with a small softbox you can create beautiful soft images. No, it's still a small light source. So let's first take an image with the FlashBender totally bare, so you can see that it's a little bit harder. But remember what I said, what I hated about bounce cards? Most of those bounce cards don't make your light softer, it makes it a little bit more diffuse, but also a lot of the light is spilled by just going up to the ceiling. Now when you look at the FlashBender, you can see that you can actually bend the top, and that means that I can steer that light back to my model, creating much more light output. Compared, for example, with the soft light attachment, we're actually getting 2 stops more on our model now. And especially outside, that can really make the difference between needing more power or a second strobe, or just doing it with your 1 strobe and 1 FlashBender. So let's take some images with this. And you can see that the image is a little bit harder than with the softbox, but it's still a really nice image quality for portraits. Look at this, really nice. I just love the way that it paints the light on her. It's not too hard, but it's definitely a hard light source, which I absolutely love. There we go. Really nice. But I already told you guys, this is not the way that I normally use the FlashBender, because straight on our model, let's be honest, it's a nice portrait, but it doesn't really excite you. What you want is something that you can use creatively, but where you can also incorporate, for example, the backdrop. Maybe you're in a city, you want to place your model straight against the wall and create something interesting on that wall. Not just the wall, but you want to create something where you can see the structure, where you can see the light falling off, you can see the shadows, but of course you also want to light your model. So I'm going to set up the FlashBender for that. Join me in a few seconds. Okay, so what I did is I actually placed the FlashBender really close to the backdrop and I angled it away from the backdrop. This is very, very powerful, and this is where I think the FlashBender really excels. Sometimes you don't want to see your backdrop, but you're in a very, very crowded space, and whatever you do, there's always light hitting your backdrop, and maybe you don't like that backdrop, you want to make it more darker, or maybe you want that backdrop in just a little bit. Now look at this, the model is standing against the backdrop, the FlashBender is also against the backdrop, and I just angled it slightly, so I turned or I folded the sides just a little bit to aim the light, and look at the result. Hardly any light on the backdrop. You get a really nice, almost painterly quality of light on your model. And of course you can still shoot into the light and create something a little bit more contrasty with some lens flare. Absolutely love those shots. But what if you do want to see something of your backdrop? You want to maybe have a little bit of a side lighting or just slightly hitting that backdrop? Now we can just fold the FlashBender very slightly and then we have some light on the backdrop. Let's do that now. Okay, so let's just fold the FlashBender a little bit. I want to have some light on the backdrop, and let's create something where with like a little bit of light on the backdrop, but also something a little bit more darker, something that you can't do with any other modifier. That's a nice challenge, right? So, okay, we folded it. Now let's take the shot and see if it really worked that way. Okay, look a little bit that way. And there we go. Now this is a light pattern that you don't see a lot with other modifiers. And that's what I love about the FlashBender. You can create something really unique. And of course you can shoot from this angle. And really shoot into your model. Now look at that. That's so nice. And of course you can shoot from the other side again, creating that high contrast look. And of course you can just walk to the FlashBender, and if you want something a little bit different, just aim. In this case just fold it differently and you will get other results. There we go, a little bit more pointy. Nice. Or maybe if you don't want it at all, just move it a little bit more forward and just aim it slightly towards the backdrop and just let it fall off from the sides. Maybe just bend this a little bit on the top. There we go. Now we have much more light hitting our backdrop and of course bouncing towards our model. There we go. I still want that light, that like triangle in there. I think that's a nice leading line, so I don't want to take that out. But I'm just experimenting with a little bit more and a little bit less light on the backdrop. FlashBender for that is absolutely great. The only thing, and I think that's a positive thing, but it can be a negative thing, is it's very difficult to get exactly the same results a second time, because you're literally bending the light. Talking about bending the light, the FlashBender is really flexible. Do you know what a snoot is? Yeah? Well, let's create a snoot out of the FlashBender. Why not? Okay, so we showed you the FlashBender with the grid attachment for the strip light. Now that already really focused our light. Then of course we showed you the softbox attachment, really nice for event photographers. If you need a little bit softer quality of light, it's more diffuser light, and that also looks great. Then we showed it totally bare, and then you can really just aim that light source wherever you want, but also by just twisting those corners, maybe just tilting it a little bit, you can create really interesting patterns on the backdrop. But what if you go one step or maybe 10 steps even further and just roll it up like a snoot? Now we have something where we can really pinpoint our model or our subject and create some stunning images. Now think about this. If you're an event photographer, you can do the bride and groom with the softbox attachment. You can do the nice high contrast portraits with, for example, the bare FlashBender or maybe with the strip light and the grid. But what if at night everybody's dancing, but there's not really a nice lighting setup? So it just looks flat. So if you as a photographer make those images, it just doesn't look right. And of course in Photoshop you can create vignettes, but that's not really interesting. What if you give your assistant a strobe with this snoot, you hold it and you just aim it at your couple that's dancing. Now you can really make them stand out from the crowd, because with the snoot, you're really focusing that light. So, I'm gonna stand here. And there we go. As you can see here, really nice, straight on our model, the light. And it really gives you that attention-grabbing quality. And of course, you can still shoot under an angle with the snoot. And there we go. So as you can see, the FlashBender from Rogue is one of the most versatile accessories you can buy. It's a snoot, it's a strip light with grid, it's the bare usage, and of course you have the softbox. So if you're looking for something that you can carry around easily and create some stunning images, and these were just example images, check out the Rogue FlashBender. It's one of my favorite modifiers for strobes.